Oh.
There! We're live-ish. Live-ish.
We're live?
Live-ish. Yeah, that was so suspenseful. It's probably we're also going to watch this, and actually we never watch our own shows, but
That's not true. I do.
well, that's true every now and then. Do you watch them all? I don't.
From time to time, because I'm also taking notes for other stuff, for promotional things.
Oh,
things
you
like
do
that.
homework.
So
You do
I
homework.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just try to keep it all right here.
I've done nothing with this homework, but I have a lot of notes.
Good. Well, that's important though, to have lots of notes. That's how the world operates. Give you lots of notes and don't do anything about it.
That's most of my life.
It's my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite.
Well, welcome to C and C in Conversation. We're
Welcome.
pre-taping
Again. Because you know what? Life's getting busier again.
It is. I don't like it. I'm ready to go back.
Either.
I'm ready to go back into quarantine.
Yeah, I thought when we were in quarantine that I was just going to lose my mind because we couldn't do anything or go anywhere. Now I'm getting so busy, I long for those days.
Well, it's like we were talking to Leonora last week, it's like I already feel all of these projects and things coming on.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, I was like, found perspective in our quarantine and all this kind of stuff. And I want to lead a more balanced life. And I don't need all this. And then as soon as like, well, kind of don't have to wear a mask anymore. Everybody's just like, here, do this. And I'm like, and I, have that tendency of saying, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like,
like
I've
me.
lost a year.
Yeah.
So I gotta,
Yeah, gotta catch up.
But
well,
guess what? Other things
what?
say no. Like my back says no.
Right. Your back is.
You gotta slow
your
down.
body's telling you.
My body's keeping score. That's a great book, guys. If you guys want to read it,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. My body's keeping score too. My my mental state is a little frazzled right now.
It's awful.
Little delicate, I'd say. Yeah, we thought it was bad before. Remember that?
Well, it's like I said. I think part of it is that there's going to be a grieving process, right? Like part of it is, for example, I sent you that text or that tweet that Lin-Manuel Miranda put out for the book for In the Heights, and it's dedicated to Doreen, who you did a show with, who I met, and it was just like it hit me that she's gone, and the tears were just, and it's things like that are starting to like unravel me. And I think that's part of it. Part of it's being in pain. Part of it is that I can't go to like a dance class or do the things that I usually do to release and, keep myself in a healthy mental state. So it's all of that. I mean, like every day I went to the gym today just to the gym this week, just to do something and keep active and get outside, but I was in tears every single drive.
That's the worst. I'm so
like
sorry.
On the elliptical, just like,
that
I
is.
don't want to do this anymore.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of being in pain, and
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, it's horrible. When you're in pain, that's all you can think about. Your brain doesn't work correctly.
And then, of course, our healthcare system, which, you're having to deal with as well, and it's horrible. It's just horrible, guys.
Yes, trying to deal.
I'm sure
so
everyone knows.
So, no, actually, that's the problem. Is that we don't know. We don't actually know. So, for those who haven't seen our morning show, didn't see the morning show last time when we talked about this, I'm dealing with aging father who is not doing well and trying to navigate the system to, because he also didn't pre-plan and has no money to pay for care. Having to figure out Medicare, Medi-Cal, how they qualify, all that sort of stuff. It's stuff nobody teaches you. And
it's not in the movies. It's not like in all the
no, it's not
movies.
Sexy. It's not sexy.
You're not walking on the beach going, ocean.
Right.
Like
Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
No, all those commercials, that come on like your late night TV or, all that like Medicare, it's covered in Medicare. It meant nothing to me. Now I'm like, oh, that's part B. Okay, I get it. But it's horrendous. And like, if you do need long-term care, if somebody needs long-term care, it's really, really difficult to figure that out, especially if you have no money to pay for it. And there's different kinds of long-term care that there's terminology is so similar and you don't know which is which. So our system, it's not great.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Well, and it was also taking me back to when Stephanie had Juniper. She was pregnant with Juniper and had to be hospitalized for, 9 weeks or whatever. And I did like a GoFundMe, like thinking it would help. Like, hey guys, let's raise some money to help out my sister with her hospital bills. We raised $3,000, which was great. So grateful.
Yeah.
It was so much more than that. Just because she had a complicated pregnancy that could have ended her life and could have ended Juniper's life, like that should just be like, you shouldn't have to worry about $100,000 bill afterwards,
No.
No. Anyways, you have a prom tonight and that sounds like fun.
Well, I personally don't. I don't have a prom. My daughter has her prom, her senior prom, which thankfully they actually get to do one. It was a very last minute plan. The parents pulled it together, and they get to go have a lovely prom. I hope on a boat in the marina. So they really, it's exciting for her. Of course, it comes at the worst time possible of my life right now, but it'll be something nice and light to have today, and
the balance. It's life. It's so
well, and with everything. So aside from all the stuff I've been going through with my dad this last couple weeks here, I'm now preparing for 2 different shows, live shows, which I'm very very happy about. So I'm very excited about that, but it's also, again, at the worst time for me because my daughter's also going to be going off to college. But, you take the give and take. So I was like, you know what, this week I'm going to do some nice things for myself. I don't have the gray anymore right now. I let that go for a real long time.
Should show those lashes off.
That's next. So then I was like, you know what? I have 2 shows coming up. I'm going to do some lash extensions. And I'm going to, I did that in the past and it's kind of fun and, it's fun to play around with those. You can't really see them right now. I'm going to show you in just a second. But
I love it because I'm all about the big lash.
Well, let me tell you, these are big lashes. The lash lady went a little bit nuts. So I now have these long, flowing lashes.
Now you look like a real Hollywood lady.
I am a Hollywood lady.
Real Housewives of Valley Village.
That's right. I am just like the Kardashians now, except my ass is
more
almost
animated
that big.
And more animated.
Yeah, right. I haven't had the Botox yet, so
like
I don't. Yeah, and I haven't had any fillers, no fillers or Botox.
To Kanye, it didn't work out.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I did for myself, and now I'm like, oh shit.
No, but I immediately was like, where did this happen? Because I need to.
Yeah, they're big. When you see them in person, they look fine on camera. They don't look so obnoxious on camera. They're perfect for a show, for running errands, or meeting perhaps. So let's say, like happened today, going down the street to with my daughter to go meet the family she's going to babysit for this weekend, and I show up like this.
Well, listen, we're still.
They must have been like, "Oh, is her mom a stripper?"
Have you thought about wearing like a juicy couture jumpsuit?
Well,
also?
I guess I could complete the look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Alina told me I looked like many of the Southern women, or actually more like Middle America women who get extensions and then they just wear like the lash extensions everywhere with no makeup.
But that's the point. So you don't have to.
She doesn't understand.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't get it. But yeah.
She's a child.
So that's what I did for myself. And now I'm like, maybe I could have done something else.
No, I like it.
It's fine. You know what? Who cares? I'm 53. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care. I care a little, but
why? No.
It just takes some getting. Well, I
gotta
say it takes some getting used to. Yeah, from going to no makeup at all for 14 months, to now like I wake up like I'm Norma Desmond now with my. I just need to wear a turban.
Well, I want to talk about proms a little bit more because that makeup story will lead into mine, but maybe we should bring in our guest.
Okay.
I want to hear about his experiences too, because you guys probably had more normal experiences than I did. So.
Maybe. Okay, I'll let him. Here we go. Welcome.
Welcome
to Brett Sheridan. Thank you for joining us. Oh, look at your lovely
eyelashes. They used to be long.
But isn't it a thing, like, the boys always have, like, natural, like, my brothers
always
had naturally, like,
always
long eyelashes.
It's mean.
I used to get embarrassed because I know my mom would take me places and they'd be, oh, your son has the most beautiful blue eyes and long lashes. And I'm like, stop it.
That sounds wonderful to me.
Right? Well, not when you're 5. That's you don't want to hear that you have beautiful lashes. Now I wish.
Yeah.
I didn't have a traditional prom because I went to a Christian school. Shady Grove Christian Academy, go Saints. So we had junior senior banquets.
Banquet.
Because there was no dancing allowed.
It's just like Footloose.
So it's like Footloose.
Yeah.
Worse, because there's nobody that looks like Kevin Bacon.
There's no Kevin Bacon. Footloose without Kevin Bacon.
So my senior year, I don't really remember the junior year too much, but my senior year, I had only really been doing like ballet makeup when I was wearing makeup. So I got ready with my friend Sherry Hernandez. I think who you met. We've now Crissy. We still like Sherry's my only like high school friend at this point that we still like keep in touch all the time. But she was like, let me do your makeup. So she did my makeup that night, and to make it just look a little more blended and not so Black Swan.
That was probably a good call. Good call.
Yeah. And then for the after party, because I'm sure there was an after party that I was invited to because I didn't have any friends, they were going to go ice skating at the Galleria at the mall. And I was like, no thanks. I was like, if anybody wants to, I'm going to go see Birdcage for like the 5th time. If anybody's into like Nathan Lane or Robin Williams, I'm going to head over to the, nope.
Wow. That's sad. That makes me a little sad.
I love the Birdcage. I saw
okay.
like 6
I guess as long
times.
as you were happy. As long as you were happy.
I was like, right,
that's
guys,
what counts.
I'm missing out.
And they're like, uh-huh.
We're going to go ice skate and make out with each other, so.
Yeah. But you go ahead. You go watch the Birdcage.
All right.
Again.
Aria's doing a funny Guatemalan accent.
Brett, what was your prom like?
I don't remember which was which, but I know one of them I had to, ship in summer camp lady, because I was my yearbook said you're a cute but weird guy a lot. So didn't really date anybody in my own high school. So I usually had to ship in my my dance dates from summer camp. I remember there's one where I got American flag Chuck Taylors. This was before they really did a lot of crazy Chuck Taylors, and I wore that with a funky cummerbund and stuff like that. But the proms, there was no. One of the kids that didn't go to prom or whatever was asking us about it the night, and he goes, "So was there any fornication?" And we always laughed about that one, but there was no fornication at this particular prom.
And you didn't go to a Christian school?
I didn't go to a Christian school. No, I just.
They were worried about fornicating.
Yeah, well, no, he was just like, it was like he wasn't, it was his way of saying, did anybody get laid? But it was like, was there any fornication at the, we're just inquiring of the. Just an average prom, nothing fancy. I think we didn't even we went to Olive Garden probably because that was the nicest place in Nebraska. That's us really doing it up.
Wow. Fancy. I got to go to 2 proms also in my junior year and my senior year. And my junior year, I just went with a friend of mine that I'd known since the 4th grade. We decided, let's just go together. Neither of us were dating anyone. And then, of course, like 2 weeks before prom, I started dating. I got my first boyfriend ever in high school, right? But he already had a date with his ex-girlfriend, supposed ex-girlfriend.
Weird.
And I was going with my friend. So that was fun to go with my friend, but not be like with my new boyfriend at the prom and have to see him over there with his girlfriend.
Did you guys even like talk or like?
Not really, no. As I recall, it was just like, hey, it was bizarre. And then, my friend was so lovely, and we had, another it was a group of friends of us that all went, and the guys had all arranged for like cool cars to bring us girls in, like they borrowed cars from people, and my date had this like old, like, I don't even, like, what would you even, like, almost looks like a car you would crank up.
Yeah, a Ford town car.
Yeah,
It was very cute, but so and went to the Quiet Cannon in like, I don't know where it was. I can't remember now, Newport or something. But my girl, it was a Quiet Cannon. It was a restaurant. It was a fancy, what we thought was fancy, and it was probably like a, I don't know, like a Black Angus. I don't know.
Probably not as fancy as Olive Garden, but
not quite. We weren't quite Olive Garden. But then my friends and I, we since we'd all gone with friends, not boyfriends, we ditched our dates and went to a party. So mean.
You got in a party?
So mean.
Damn.
But we ditched our dates, who are our friends. They're like, hey, we're gonna go hang out with these guys now, and so yeah. I was not very nice then. I mean, I was, but that was not a nice move on our part. So
I might have ditched you at Magic Castle like 3 years ago when I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, hey, you need an Uber? Okay, bye. Okay. I was newly single, Brett.
yeah,
yeah.
You know that tale you got at
Trolling
Magic
it,
Castle.
trolling the Magic Castle.
Yep.
I got you. A little close-up magic, if you know what I mean.
It was. Anyways, Brett Sheridan.
Hi. We should talk about our guest.
Oh, hey.
We should say, I mean, I've known you forever and ever. A really long time. 15,
I've known you
16,
about
17 years, 15, 16 minutes.
22 minutes. Yeah.
About the same. Yeah, I don't even remember when we started.
Well, when I got to Acme, when I first met you, you and Lonnie had just gotten married.
Oh, so 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you guys were newly
See, I pulled that out. I remember.
Nice.
Ooh, good for you. Yeah. And I just have to say right after that, and I've always said this, Brett's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life to this day. And I said it from day one.
That's a lot of pressure now for him.
Yeah, it is.
No, but I've said it forever.
Yeah.
All right, funny man. Show us what you got.
Do a joke. Go ahead.
Say something funny.
Say it. No, Crissy, you sing. Sing a song.
Yeah.
You sing.
Oh, you're being my mother. I see.
No, she likes to sing. She's a singer. No. So we met at Acme Comedy Theater, and you're just one of the people that I like, and I like your family. His wife got me a job at a restaurant that was, that I have lifetime friends from there as well, and we've just always kind of stayed connected, and now you're sort of having like this renaissance of Brett Sheridan lately. Like you've been doing Schmodown stuff, the Schmodown Entertainment Network. You have a new show with Christian Harloff, the Goofballs. You've done 2 episodes now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's great, and I feel like you're finally believing in yourself like you always should have, because that was just my thing. I was just like, you're so like, I don't know why you and Jess Rowland, I just were like, you guys need to be like the most famous people. And Jess kind of had the same thing also. Another friend of ours, a tall redhead. You'll see him in things from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
But he just never believed in himself, and he's like one of the funniest people in the world. And so I was just like, no, you, Brett, come on. And so I think it's, and everybody knows it. Like everybody, like all of his fans on like these shows and stuff, they think he's the funniest thing in the world.
Well, Claudia's our new Oprah.
Yeah.
I've had some makers.
I was going to say, look at you. Well, that's all well and good, but I wanted to delve into your past a little bit.
Yes, okay.
I had a couple things that I wanted to ask you about. First of all, you're an Eagle Scout.
Yes. Yes.
What was that like, getting to that position? Like, how old were you when you finally got to become an Eagle Scout?
It was kind of like, all the tail you can get at the Magic Castle.
Yeah, like, did that really bring in the chicks?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Especially in the uniform. One of the worst things, I went to the National Jamboree in 1989, and they made us wear the uniform out and about. Like when we would go to tourist places, and I mean, I was high school, I'm like, please, the socks pulled up and the little shorts and
I know, I had friends.
It was rough.
We're
like, can we just not wear it when we go to the museums and stuff? The girls are laughing at us. This is, but I had a lot of fun with it. Just started out, as a Cub Scout and all that, and I liked camping. It was a social thing, and I just eked in my Eagle Scout right before I turned 18 because I started to get a little like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I knew there was a scholarship I wanted to get for being an Eagle Scout, which coincidentally I lost after the first semester of college because I dipped below a 3.0. My mom remembers. She remembers that.
I'm sure.
Shout out to your mom. Hopefully she's watching.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Julie got an iPad. She's very interactive. His mom is very interactive. Yes.
Nice. Yes. Did you find that it helped you at all in life after that?
I think definitely, yeah. I mean, with as far as I know how to light a fire, and the knot thing is not as I think that I always associate with knowing knots. I don't know
as useful as you would think it might be. All right.
Yeah. That's kind of a fallacy about the Eagle Scouts is that we all know knots really well, but I mean, I guess I could do like a Survivor type of a show. Or something like that, because I do know how to light fires with minimal things. And
well, that is a skill, because I can tell you, my husband cannot light a fire to save his life. He could never be an arsonist. I'll tell you that. He can't. He cannot, like, in the fireplace. I mean, it is a miracle when he finally gets something to save him.
But he's Canadian. That should just be like
in
his bones, right?
Yeah. No.
It's required.
Also can't water ski. But that's not really a Canadian thing. But the fire. Okay. Thank you for answering my questions about being an Eagle Scout. And then the other thing I wanted to ask, and then also probably around shortly after that, I see that you were an Irene Ryan ACTF nominee.
Yes, that was wow. Look at the Wikipedia. Yes, Irene Ryan, who was the granny on
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes.
So Claudia, if you don't know what this is, ACTF is the American College Theater Festival. I think we lost Claudia.
Yeah.
Or she's just very, very quiet.
No, I think she's definitely frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen. But it's, for those who don't know, ACTF, American College Theater Festival, and it is one of those things that, oh, hi, you're back.
Hey.
It's like a sort of rite of passage when you're in the college theater scene, and those trips. Everybody looks forward to those trips. You get to go to those on this trip, and it's a bunch of college kids, and people are hooking up all over the place. Yeah,
there's improv jams.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Again, another super nerdy thing. That we're like, we get to go to. We did get to go. I got to go to only the one in Santa Barbara. I didn't get to go to any others.
I honestly can't even remember where I went. I mean, this is years ago.
Well, yeah, years ago. Yeah, me too. Me too. And actually, I was not we lost her again. I was not a nominee. I was a scene partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I got to go as a scene partner.
Wow, it's so funny. That was just something that I was like, oh yeah, that was something I did.
Yeah, I'm diving
Claudia,
in.
what's going on?
Claudia, you're a little choppy now.
We have an unstable connection, just like my brain.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask about. Oh, actually, there are two more.
Oh,
if that's okay, Claudia. I'm sorry if I'm like, stealing the time.
No, go for it.
Okay,
I
so
have nothing planned.
First of all, 90210.
Yes.
You were on 90210.
I played a photographer. It's one of like 2 like legit television gigs I ever had. And I think it was, hey Silver, can I get a shot of you and your boyfriend or something like that? I think that was the character's name.
Was this in the original or the post?
Oh, the post one.
The newer
one.
Yeah. Okay. Hilarious.
Yeah, one line. Big time.
Awesome. And then the last thing was I read that on the Guild, your son actually got a job on it first.
Yes.
And then you got the job.
Yeah, I had a baby, and Felicia Day I knew from Acme, and she said, "Oh, can we use your baby in our web series?" And I'm like, "What's a web series?"
Which is this. Like, she basically shot this 100 years ago. Yeah. I mean, it was like before this. She was one of the first people to do like web series and have a successful web series. I mean, it's on Netflix now, and he I think the first one. Oh, I don't know what it's up to now, but I mean, 14 million at the time was insane or something like that. And I just let her use my baby for weird things like chewing on a light strip was one of them. Not plugged in. I think one of them, she still feels bad about when we did this thing where we put him in a cage, because the mom on the show was a horrible parent who would, wasn't paying attention to her kids because she was, playing it wasn't Warcraft on the show. They couldn't use it, right? It was something else. It was based on that.
Yeah. And based off of her real life, like she was addicted to that game. And then I got to eventually become his father on the show. And that was an interesting thing because it was hugely popular, but in like nobody knew. If I went to auditions and things, nobody knew about it. It was just this very niche, audience of gamers, online gamers. Thought it was going to be my big break, but
it was
in a certain crowd.
But it was just so before its time, just because now, especially after this year, we're all, YouTubers, we're all online, but it was very specific at the time. Like I just watched Bo Burnham's special last night. Have you watched? Oh,
we almost watched it. It was an hour and a half. So we're like, we can't stay up this late, and then we ended up watching like 4 episodes of Good Girls and
it's always like that.
It's like, wait, 6 hours of content. Right. We didn't watch this 1.5 hour thing. Yeah,
it's so good. But I remember when he was first on the scene and being dismissive of like the YouTube kid, but because he's been doing it for so long, and he is very talented and very funny, and I've seen him live at this point a few times, but this special that he made, and Crissy, like, you're gonna die when you see it. I mean, like, the content is great as far as the jokes and what he's written, but also technically, because he's done it for so long, because he did everything by himself.
Oh, wow.
It's all by himself. And I'm just sitting there going, this is him. This is what he's been working on for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And we were all dismissive of it. The comics and stuff were dismissive of him because he was so young, and and the YouTube thing we didn't quite grasp. And it's kind of the same thing that I think, I talked to Ken Knapsack a few weeks ago about when Christian and Mark started doing their YouTube reviews. I never dismissed it because I just thought it was interesting and whatever. But Ken was like, yeah, we were all like, YouTube, what are you doing? Like, But I just think it's so funny how there's some people that just tap into it and, like the Guild. And now it is on Netflix. And so it has like a huge way, like a way bigger audience. And now you're Netflix famous.
Well,
people and Netflix and chill to Brett Sheridan.
Yes. I should have listened to my peers back then because
tell me about it, man. We're so behind the ball.
Kim Eby, who was produced and directed on that, said you should do a dad vlog because you're a stay-at-home dad / actor. And I'm like, what's a vlog? Like what? And I didn't do it, and there were a lot of people that did and blew up, because there wasn't. I mean, it's being a stay-at-home dad was not a typical thing as much,
No.
Yeah. So I should have listened to that. But again, it was like, I don't get what this is. How is this going to be popular? You know, like I didn't understand the YouTube was very strange to us.
No, I didn't get it either. I mean, people were doing shows and I'm like, why do a show there? Who's going to see it?
Yeah, we're all YouTubers.
Because now it was mixed with, you know, and it still is, but it's just mixed with somebody posting their wedding video and stuff like that. Yes. So that's why it was hard to grasp, because you're like, how is this going to take off? This is dumb.
It was the same with podcasts. When podcasts started, I was like, who's going to listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
Like,
isn't it radio again?
I'm just going to listen to somebody talk? Like, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we have talkies to go to. We don't know listen to radios.
I know. The youth has you know the advantage for sure.
We always
on this
have to
because
listen to the
they're
youth.
like, okay, you know, they just go along with it, and look what happened. TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
TikTok famous.
I've been trying to
Instagram
learn the
famous.
TikTok. I don't, you know, I'm getting there. I'm just playing around, but it to me, the TikTok makes more sense because you can make like little sketches and actually, you know, like, you know, whatever. We don't know.
I had to take my daughter off of TikTok already because, what happened was I thought that. Well, I think we did sign her up and you had to be a certain age, but you know, you don't know these things. You're like, oh, but that's just rules they have. And it's not, and she was showing me stuff and it was just people dancing and it wasn't anything bad. But then another parent said, oh, do you realize you're blocking what other people can see of her content, but she can see anything. You can't do parental blocks on what they see, and especially during the pandemic there were a lot of like very inappropriate things for children that were being posted,
really horrible things.
So
same with anything else though. I mean, there's been other streaming, you know, it's you know, I think we're starting to get to the point where we're figuring it out a little bit better, but certainly there was a time where, you know, it was just, I think Chris Hardwick said it, like it's the wild, wild west.
Oh yeah. And having kids and you just don't know, you just throw them an iPad and you don't know that they can find this stuff, you know,
everything,
putting in parental controls. And I'm like, what would a 10-year-old boy, boobies, you know, like butts, you know, I'd see what come up and, you know, see if anything was bad, but
vagina,
let's see here. But you gotta have to trust them because they've got the workarounds to all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And there's, and they got the technology down.
Like, better than we do.
Else. Yeah, for sure.
Also, it doesn't matter what we do because their friends are going to have it. Somebody else is going to tell him or show him how things work.
Yeah.
You guys, you just have to talk to them. You just have to keep an open dialogue. Just communicate back and forth.
Yep. It's that easy.
Yeah. How does Blake answer you when you talk to him?
Okay. Hey, I love you.
Such a boy.
And just turned into one like teenager, you know, pre-pandemic, still had like wonder in his eyes and like, you know, I love you, daddy, that kind of thing. Just like, you know, okay. All right. Well, good talk. I'm gonna go have a soft cry in my room.
A soft cry.
Yeah,
I like that.
Remember when you were young?
Kind of a whimper.
Yeah. Just. Where's my baby?
Oh my God! Just wait till they go off to college. I'm telling you, people tell you all your life. People tell you, or when you have kids, just wait till they go to college. Well, now I'm that person going, just wait.
Yeah.
It comes so fast. You're so unprepared, no matter what. Even though we've been talking about it for years, and I'm not gonna have a soft cry. I'm gonna have like an ugly cry.
Oh yeah.
Big, I don't know if your kids will go to college, Brett. They might be models. Like, they're gorgeous. Like, they might just be models.
Speaking of which, you know, Lydia is modeling and has.
Oh, and we should say that Lydia is a voice in one of the projects that's still happening. But she's a voice in one of Crissy and I's projects, Hold It Dead.
Yeah, that's right. And she just shot a commercial last week and a commercial the week before, and did two modeling jobs during, you know, a couple months ago, and gets more auditions than me, and I'm not jealous at all.
That was the case with my daughter too. Yeah. In fact, so we were talking about
Elena was only on several hit series.
Yeah,
many series. She when we were talking about your son being on first on the Guild, Alina actually, I was going to an audition and saw it was for In the Motherhood. I don't know if you remember that when that was around. That was like a web series, one of the early web series with Leah Remini.
Yeah.
And I was going to an audition for that for one of the moms, and I saw that there was like they needed a 3-year-old daughter. I was like, you know what? I got a little girl at home. People keep telling me blah. I was like, have you guys cast that yet? They're like, no, bring her in. And I bring her in, and she memorizes stuff she doesn't have to memorize like immediately.
Oh wow!
And then and they're like, oh no, she only has to do this much. And we're like, oh okay. She goes in there, comes back out. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And we start walking. Before we get to the elevator, they're like, we'd like to put her on a veil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then the ball was rolling. And
yeah.
So yeah, she's done a lot more than I have.
Yeah, it's wild. And I on set, I've been, a lead in a commercial or something. And now I'm chopped liver dad. Just
they don't care.
Can I get a water too? No. They're over there. Oh, okay. I'll go.
Her first pilot, talk about being like invisible, basically. Her first pilot, I was, they're shooting something, and then the director, I'm standing kind of near the director, and they're he's discussing with wardrobe what they want the mom to wear. And he looks at me, I'm like in jeans and whatever, right? He looks at me, he's like, like mom stuff like that. I was like, oh, God.
Like that.
Yeah, like I'm standing right here. Thanks.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it was a real good time. No, but I'm proud of her and I'm happy for it. I'm not gonna be, and hopefully she can get me in something someday.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we tried. Dave's manager actually tried to get him as the dad on the pilot that she did, and he was told that Dave wasn't right for the part of her father.
They look like exactly alike,
but he is her father.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I remember being good.
And he also has a name. Like, why wouldn't you?
Wasn't right. Right.
Yeah. I was at one point not believable as a father. I was babyface. I'm happy about it. I wasn't happy about it at the time, but I'm glad as I get older that I, don't look.
No, I can buy that.
And it was like,
I would never. Yeah.
You can't be a dad. I'm like, I've got two. They're right here. Like, I had to bring them with me.
Yeah.
No, there's even for like I don't. I've said this to his face, and Adam Carell because we all work together.
Yeah.
But I've known this guy for so long, and now he's a family man. He's got a daughter. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that he would be a father. Like, even to this day, I'm like, you're a dad. All right.
That's weird.
Right. Wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. You never know.
Yeah.
I would love to show the clip that we have.
Oh,
yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to set it up?
No, let's talk about the background afterwards, I think.
Okay.
Because there are things I'd like to say about it.
Okay.
And I'd like to get Brett's memory about it. But let's watch it first. It's a sketch from a long time ago when we were at Acme.
Okay.
That we wrote together. Yeah.
I'm going to share this any second now. You just wait.
You'll see why Brett's so freaking hilarious.
Here we go. Yes. It's very funny. All right, here we are.
Ooh. That's a long time. John Hawkes.
Oscar nominee.
Thank you guys so much. This is too much. Okay, everything.
The stripper.
What? No. You got a stripper? Yes, we did. Shizzle, my nizzle.
Okay.
This must have been I think the last sketch of the
Oh,
night.
hello, officers. The perpetrator is right this way.
You have the right to remain silent. If you refuse this right, we will hold something against you.
You guys are so bad.
back to tank action.
Oh my god, that was terrible.
He looked much better in the LA Weekly.
You got a stripper from the LA Weekly? Mark picked the stripper.
Bill Kessler, Kevin Small, Rich
Wow.
Julia, Porter Kelly.
Maybe that guy would do it. Hey, security guy, can you take over?
No, I'm just security, ma'am. He's the professional.
You ready for the grand finale?
You know what? He was really expensive. Just let him do the finale. Maybe it'll be better. It could be worse. Okay, yeah, maybe his blood sugar was just low.
That's my favorite.
Fine. Okay, you know what? Fine. Try a different song. Yeah, you know what? Something more upbeat, maybe. Yeah. There you go.
Oh,
You got just the thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Quite good.
Not your style, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Look, if we pay you $500, you strip?
That's a lot of money. Yeah, I gotta take that bro.
No bad, bro. No, do it. Hey, tough crowd.
Anything.
Yeah, see?
Give him a
You
good
got
show.
it.
That lives on
funny.
the internet forever,
It lives-
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it sure does.
Funny.
Sure does.
But
It's very
this is-
funny though.
This is what I remember how it came, because we did a couple of them, right?
Yeah. This was the first. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah.
But what I remember is that you would come over to write, and it was kind of like one of the, just trying to figure out what to write, and he starts dancing around my living room, like as we're, trying to figure something out to pitch. And I was like, oh, that's it. He's a terrible dancer. We should do something with this. And then it just kind of evolved from there. But the music specifically, because we had started streaming these shows, we couldn't use anything that was popular or whatever. But that just made it funnier because...
Oh, completely. Like that's what
Absolutely
sells it to
ridiculous.
me. That is what sells it to me. The fact that a stripper would use that music, the unsexiest music ever.
And also like folding the clothes and like
Yeah, being very. Yeah, love that. I love it. It's so funny. You're so funny in that.
I just reminded that I had to go buy specific underwear for that because I didn't have any like bikini type underwear or whatever. No,
You wanna borrow some Sandy
boxer
Siriano?
briefs.
I know Sandy Siriano had some freaking thongs he wore.
Oh yeah, he
he
did.
did. Oh,
of course
wow.
he did. Of course he did.
leopard print, I think, right?
Oh,
yeah.
probably.
Oh, you should know, Crissy, it goes way back with Siriano also.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
way back.
That's a whole other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Late 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so funny.
So fun. That was so great. Well, thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been so fun to talk to you. Thank you for letting me grill you.
Yeah, that you just coming. I didn't expect anything like that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was great. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
And anything you should tell the audience about? Things you're doing, projects?
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I can't do any Disney Channel shows. That's just a clip right there. But yes, yeah, I do the Goofball show with Christian Harloff Thursdays. It starts, maybe 8:45, maybe 9. And it's right before SEN, which I do 5 days a week. That's from 10 to 12. And then if you join the SEN Patreon, you get to see the Brett and Kate's Playdate, which is just Kate Mulligan and I doing a little it's an unplanned show of just that mostly ends up us talking about food, and then kind of like how you started the show a little bit about talking about, bad things with your back and stuff like that. Like she always tends to
and
bring.
And you guys are both very funny. Both very funny.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm all over social media, not posting anything.
But as you can see, follow him at Mr. Wiggly. But yeah, he won't post anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and just really quickly, also, there's still time.
Yes.
We have secured a theater. As of today, we secured a theater for the kids, but go to buymeacoffee.com/Studio CNC,
and then
#Latinx Gold Open. We're super excited that there's all these sixth graders that are about to graduate, and they're gonna, they were in this dance program, and now they get to go sort of like, see in the heights as they're moving on to the next thing, to middle school and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's gonna be pretty exciting. So thank you for all the donations. Sarah
Thank
Cunningham,
you so much.
You just donated.
Yes.
And I told you, everybody who donated yesterday, you get a prize. So Sarah Cunningham has something coming. I don't know what, but
you're all gonna, you all get something. Thank you all so much. We just feel it's really, really important to get these kids out there, get them to see representation on the screen,
and support this movie specifically.
Yes, support, please.
To see people that look like us, not Brett. Don't look at Brett.
Yeah,
he's had his day.
Yeah, we've had enough representation for old white dudes, I think.
But thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you all.
Yep.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.